Greetings, friends. I'm here to share a little more information with you with hymns. I've been doing that a lot since the COVID shutdown started, and I'm hoping that these are inspiring to you. I hope they're informative, and um, and I think maybe it makes us think a little bit more about what we sing when we actually sing a hymn in church. Today, I'd like to share with you some background information on Be Still My Soul. Perhaps some of the inspiration that Katharina von Schlegel, the German author of the poem, had comes a little bit from Psalm 62, verse 1. Truly my soul silently waits for God. From him comes my salvation. Now, we don't know much about Katharina, but we do have her words. And when those were joined with the haunting strains of Finlandia by Jean Sibelius, it's become a classic hymn. They were joined together probably in the early 1900s, even though she wrote her words in 1752. Sibelius put together Finlandia, the larger work, for a celebration, a press celebration in 1899 in Finland. Um, Essentially, it became a covert protest against increasing censorship from the Russian Empire, who was pushing hard at them on their eastern boundary. Something that you can look up because it's very much more complicated and elongated is the fact that Finland, the Finnish people, were always being pressed on either side, either by Sweden or by the Russian Empire. They were considered, I think, prime real estate. And so it's been going on for hundreds of years. And finally, Finland, 100 plus years ago, was able to declare independence from both of those entities, and they are the country they are now. But for a long, long time, they struggled. And Sibelius wrote this set of tableaus for orchestra, and it's mostly rousing and turbulent music, sort of evoking the national struggle of the Finnish people over all those years. But toward the end, in the last tableau, there's a calmness that sort of comes over the piece, and the orchestra simply, almost in unison, plays that lovely melodic piece, Finlandia hymn. Now, it wasn't sung to words, it was simply orchestral. And it is beautiful, and we know it and we love it today. But I found it interesting to note and to read that Sibelius didn't want anything done with words. Now, I do believe it's become the national anthem for Finland. And then, of course, as I said, in the 1900s, early 1900s, they set Be Still My Soul, Katarina's words, to that tune. It gained wide usage during World War II, when it was comforting entire nations here in the United States, and I think abroad as well. Um, in my research for this, I came across a gentleman's writings, a gentleman named Virgil Bachman, who was for Our Savior's Lutheran Church in Port Huron, Michigan. At some point after his experiences, and perhaps as a way to talk about this hymn, he shared with them the following. These are the words from a World War II soldier. He says, I had probably sung Be Still My Soul many times before, but it was not until I sang it in a small stucco church in a tiny village in France during World War II that it became part of my life. The war in Europe was going badly. The news from the front was disheartening. We'd suffered reverses. We were edgy, confused, discouraged. It was at this crucial time that a service was arranged for us in a quaint church somewhere in France. It seemed the roof of that little village church actually opened up as we weary, dirty GIs blended our voices under the leadership of the chaplain and the church's old pump organ. Halfway through the service, it happened. Softly, the organ began to play, and we began to sing, "Be still, my soul, the Lord is at thy side." And how badly that confidence, that statement was needed. It was as though the Lord was speaking to me in a very personal way. Bear patiently the cross of grief or pain, the cross of war with its hardships, misery, separation, and pain. As we began to sing the second stanza, "Be still, my soul, thy God doth undertake to guide the future as he has the past," God seemed to whisper, "Don't give up. I'm still in command. Yes, even here. I'll guide the future as I have the past." The thoughts of dead and missing friends came as through a choked up throat. I sang the third stanza. "Be still, my soul, though dearest friends depart." Soothing, personal assurance came at that moment and in that spot. With renewed spirit, I was able to sing that final stanza. "Be still, my soul, when change and tears are past. All safe and blessed, we shall meet at last." Oh, peace. Peace, whether it be here or in eternity. As we left that little church, the peace I felt among the horrors of war was nothing but a gift of the Holy Spirit. God did spare me, and he allowed me to return to my loved ones, to work for him in his service. He preserved me. What a wonderful, wonderful sharing. Think about the war that we're fighting with the unseen enemy, as it were, today, and I think maybe it's not the horrors of war the way this gentleman experienced it, but it's still a time of fear, a time of unknowing, a time when we need to be confident in God's being there for us in the past, in the future. Sibelius probably was very unhappy. I know, as I said before, I read that he didn't want his beautiful melody to have words put to it. He just wanted it to be orchestral and simple. Well, he didn't get his wish. "Be Still, My Soul" got put to it. There's also a hymn in the ELW that uses the same melody. It was written by Mary Louise Bringle in approximately 2002, so it's very much more contemporary. And the words, her first line, her first verse is this, and let me read it for you. It's number 792 in the ELW, in case you have an ELW and you want to look it up and get some more of the words. "When memory fades and recognition falters, when eyes we love grow dim and minds confused, speak to our souls of love that never alters. Speak to our hearts by pain and fear abused. O God of life and healing grace and peace, empower us with patient courage, by your grace infused." Thank you, Mary Louise, and thank you, Joan Sibelius, for your wonderful melody. As I've shared some of the hymn stories with you over this time of COVID, I hope that you have been inspired by them, or at least found them to be informative. One thing that I would like to ask you, and merely suggest it, if there's a hymn that is particularly meaningful for you, please send an email to me at my church address. That's sjoten@popappleton.org, sjoten@popappleton.org. let me know of a hymn that you're interested in getting some background on. I would be more than happy to look it up, and if I find something, I will share it with you. But for now, brothers and sisters, be safe, be well, until we see you again, and until I hear you singing some of these hymns at the top of your lungs.